St Michael's Mount has to be my favourite National Trust property that I've ever visited to date. I absolutely loved it and I really recommend everyone give it a visit. So you basically need to park up or get to Marazion, which is a beautiful town in itself, and you can have a little quick walk around there. But in my opinion, St Michael's Mount is the star of the show. So you walk along the beach and you get to this little mount. Here is how you access, and you can either get a boat or you can walk along the causeway, which opens up a couple of times a day. So we got the boat there and then we walked back was how we did it. And I really like that because you got both experiences. The boat costs £2.80 each way for adults. And when you get there, there's all different levels that you can do. And if you've got a National Trust membership, everything is free. Otherwise, sort of different things cost different amounts and you can just pay as you go. I actually did see some people getting across on a paddle board. So there's many options to get to the island if you're daring. Or you can just wait for the causeway to open up and then it's free. You come into the harbour here and arrive at St Michael's Mount. One thing you'll notice about Cornwall in general is the water is so clear. You definitely feel like you could be abroad on a hot day. It's thought that in past times, the island actually formed a trading centre for the tin industry, and that around 2,000 years ago, many ships might have sailed into the Mount's harbour and exported Cornish tin to the rest of Europe. Even though the population on this island has ebbed and flowed, it is suggested that in the 1800s there was actually quite a thriving community here, with over 300 islanders and 53 houses over 4 streets. There was pubs that welcomed sailors and fishermen. There was even a school that taught the island's children and a policeman. Today there's a lot less people that live on this island. There's around 30 people that still live here at any one time, and I do believe that one of the people in the house has to work on the island or have some kind of role on the island, and they also have to go back to the mainland to send their children to school and pick up groceries, etc. So they have a cafe here. This is called the Island Cafe. There is another cafe, but it wasn't open when we were there, so this one was the only option. And you can grab quite an array of different things like snacks and drinks and enjoy them in these beautiful outdoor seating areas. There's quite a few palm trees on the island and in Cornwall in general, because it does have a slightly warmer climate than the rest of the UK. You're even going to find that there's aloes and agave doing really well and thriving in the castle garden. So this beautiful garden was designed in 1878 for Sir John St Aubyn. The island still is partly managed by the Aubyn family alongside the National Trust. The garden is open for visitors and it is quite steep, so you do have to bear that in mind, but it's absolutely stunning, and there's loads of places where you can wander off and sit and take a moment and look at the beautiful views over the water. It's got a lot of plants in it that you wouldn't expect in the UK, from aloe vera plants to agave plants, a lot of succulents. And a rather interesting fact is that the gardeners actually are skilled in abseiling, so they can perform weeding on this very extreme garden surface. This is what's called a pillbox, where people used to defend the island, and it served as a lookout, and they could also use guns through the open windows. Life inside this pillbox would have been very cramped, gloomy, tedious and very cold, especially during the night watches. So to get to the castle itself, you walk through this field and you'll see a small hexagonal looking building over in the corner, and that's where the entrance lies to get up to the castle. Now, a pre-warning, it is very, very steep and pretty long as well to get up there, so I definitely probably wouldn't risk it if you had mobility issues. So there's quite a few legends and fairy tales that surround St Michael's Mount, and one of them is that it's home to, or was home to, a huge giant, hence the giant's well, and we're about to see the giant's heart in a bit too. So there is a fairy tale that there was a giant called Cormorant, and he basically created this island and the castle along with his wife Chameleon. It was said that he was 18 foot tall with a 9-foot waist and had 12 fingers and 12 toes, and that he had a cave on the island and only crossed over to the mainland at low tide. Obviously, this is kind of strange because you'd think at his height he could just wade over to the mainland, but I think we have to go along with the story. It was said that he terrorized the local communities until the hero Jack came along, who lured him out of his cave and killed him. But it's said that a part of him remains on the island with the giant's heart, and that if you stand and put your ear to it, you can sometimes hear it beating. It's also said that St Michael's Mount is on a powerful ley line. Now, I am very into energy and spirituality, and I will say that I did feel there was an amazing energy on this island, so there could be some truth in that. The idea of a ley line is that they're supernatural lines that connect the universe through various monuments and landforms, and they carry pockets of concentrated energy that we can harness if we sit on them and meditate and take the energies in. What's super interesting is that there are links to St Michael here, obviously hence the name, and if you were to line up St Michael's Mount with Mont Saint-Michel in Normandy, it is almost a straight line. And you can also line them up with similar sites dedicated to St Michael in Ireland, Italy and Israel. Is that just a coincidence, you might ask? So the ley lines in Cornwall run mostly under the sea, but they do run right over the heart of the island. And there's supposedly a bedrock outside of St Michael's Mount Chapel where you can really feel the energies are strongest, and it's a great area to just sit and take them in. So you can wander inside the castle. So this has been in the Aubyn family since the mid-1600s, and there's a lot of references to them. They do actually still continue to live here, but it is co-managed now with the National Trust. This is one of my favourite parts of St Michael's Mount. When you come out onto the open castle top, you can walk all around the turrets and all the way around to the back to the little chapel, which we're going to go to in a minute, and the views are just spectacular. So this small church was actually built in 1135 and is probably what connects the whole island together. They still hold regular Sunday services here from the middle of May to the end of September. So this is definitely my favourite piece in here. It's a bronze of St. Michael, and it's a modern bronze figure of St. Michael defeating the devil, yet offering him the hand of mercy. It was made by the sculptor Lynn Constable Maxwell, and these stained glass windows were installed by the 5th Sir John St. Aubyn as part of the restoration of the church, which happened in 1811. This is a rather wonderful champagne cork replica of the castle, which was made by a former butler. I love some of the trees and plants on this island. I don't think I've seen anything like these on the mainland. They remind me of things you would see in California. So here are the houses where there's still islanders that are living here today, and there's also a little shop where you can get some plants and some of the succulents that you can see in the castle garden. So when we were ready to leave, we were lucky enough that the causeway had opened up so we could actually walk back to the mainland and Marazion. And it was really nice to get to do both, to get the boat and to walk, in my opinion. I think it's perfect to do one way and one the other way back.